Joe Rogan
Joe Rogan.
and Rick Woo Flair.
That was pretty good. That, you know what? I'd give that a solid 7. That was good. I can't do it. I'm not going to try.
Woo! Ric Flair was the man, dude.
What's up, everybody? Keenan and Derek coming back at you with Test the Algorithm.
Test the algorithm.
We're going to talk about boxing today.
Oh, are we talking about the fight?
The fight.
We're not talking about Ngannou and Joshua, because that didn't last very long,
right?
And whatnot. But
July 20th, 2024, live on Netflix.
First ever.
First ever live sporting event.
Jake Paul. Mike Tyson.
That's right.
Mike Tyson is 157 years old, and Jake Paul is what, 26?
Yeah, it's gonna be like one of us going after a senior citizen. Is essentially what it is.
Pretty mean senior citizen. I would watch myself a little bit if I yeah. I mean, destroyer of worlds. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that Oppenheimer quote was about Mike Tyson. Just didn't know it yet.
Well, no, I mean, we got some videos with some training and all that stuff. I mean, Mike's going to be 58, I think. I think he's 57 right now. I think he's going to be 58 by the time the fight happens. And I don't want to cross him.
So that means what? Jake Paul's 28?
So he's going to be 27 or 28.
27, 28, yeah.
Something like
There's
that,
like a 30-year gap there, huh?
Yeah. So
I think that's the same. No, Cher and her new boyfriend, that's a 40-year
something like
gap.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, you give me $1 million, I'll take a hit from Mike Tyson. Fine.
Oh,
I mean, the amount of money that these two, I mean, fantastic marketing and all of that. I mean, they're both set to make buku bucks for this.
$1 million, you'd go in there in a ring with Mike Tyson.
I mean, I would last a punch.
No, but you would do it and try
in a second,
dude. If let me put it this way, if you gave me one half of the purse, like one of them are going to get, I would fight both of them at the same time.
Yeah. For
$20 million.
Yeah. Yep.
We just looked this up, and the arena with the amount per ticket, it's like $40 million they're going to make on just seating. Yeah. So if you were to offer me, that's before advertisement
and that's the average ticket price. It's going to be probably realistically more than that. $40 million purse, because people are going to be spending $2 and $3 and $4 and $5, $10,000 a ticket. Because I mean, let's be real. If Taylor Swift can sell tickets for $10,000 for front row seats a piece, someone's going to pay for that for this.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that we got these stupid things on. If you were to give me $20 million, I'd fight them both at the same time. Just me against both of them at the same time. Might not last long, but I would do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. No problem at all. Yeah. Who would you be more scared of, though, if you had to fight them both at the same time? Would you be more scared of the young man or more scared of Tyson?
I mean, obviously, whoever you would fight, either one of us, the average human being is going to lose. I think I would last longer against Jake just because he doesn't hit as hard. I might be able to take a few more punches. But, even Mike being 57 right now, 58, whenever the fight happens, I still think he can hit pounds per square inch harder than Jake Paul.
I don't know about that. Age is a MFer, dude, that creeps up on you slow and doesn't let you know until you're actually in there what it really did. So
yeah,
I think that young man right there, Jake Paul, would be a problem way over Tyson, dude. If I was fighting them both at the same time, I'd probably, like I said, we wouldn't last long at ever, But I would be more worried about the young man. That young man does have skills. He's got all the money in the world to get the best trainers. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But I wouldn't consider him a top 10 boxer. I mean, he's not. He's fighting retired old people. But I think he would be. And if you watch them nose to nose when they're by each other, Jake Paul's a big kid.
He is.
He's a big kid. Yeah. He's taller and looks thick like Tyson. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll get into the first couple of videos and then we'll talk about it.
Sweet.
So here we go.
In his seasoned expertise from 58 fights, he appeared in top form, delivering a captivating performance for the Lens.
Not bad.
No, yeah, he's scary. He's
Yeah,
old or whatever. If you
absolutely.
watch the first sequence of that, you'll see him throw a left hook and he overextends, and you'll see how long it takes him to get back to center. I'm telling you, dude, he's old.
I
You know what I
mean,
mean?
Jake is by far faster.
Yeah.
No question. Even if Mike was 10 years younger, Jake is still going to be much faster
Right.
than Mike is. So, I mean, if it was a true fair fight, which I do think it'll be classified as an exhibition, because so today is March 25th, 2024. We still don't know the official rules.
No, he just
Yeah.
read that they're going to have headgear on and everything else. And by the way, Mike Tyson, a while back just had that exhibition with Roy Jones, and that was the most boring fight I've ever seen in my life, I think, dude. I mean, even more boring. You know what? Mayweather's fights and that fight were about on par, dude. One of the most boring fights I've ever seen, and that was an exhibition. Now, this one's going to be an exhibition. From what he just read me, they're going to have headgear on. So, no, this is not a fight at all. This is I don't know. Like, I don't know what these other clips are, but in my opinion, as far as like, if you're asking me, a boxing fan, my dad was Golden Gloves and everything else. I think this is a lose-lose for Jake. And
Yeah.
I'll get into why this is actually happening. I have some inside info on what this whole thing is about, because when you put headgear on someone, you might as well watch two UFC fighters go in there and just spar.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Go down to West Coast Martial Arts in Stockton, sit by the ring, watch them all day do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
uh,
Definitely.
okay. Who do you think's gonna win? Come on, let's do it off the first. Who do you think's gonna win? Prediction. So we can see who's right or wrong. Who do you think's gonna win?
The legacy, and you look at both fighters. That the legacy, if it's not thrown, or even if it's thrown, if Mike loses, his legacy is shot down. But at the same time, depending on how he's looking at it himself, I mean, he's $20 million richer, $10 million richer, whatever his purse is. So can he live with that? That's up to him. If I was as great as he was, I wouldn't want to lose my legacy. Now, if it's a real fight and Jake Paul loses, I mean, he's done. I mean, there's no coming back from losing against a 58-year-old. But again, if it's a real
Who do you
fight,
think's gonna win?
I'm getting to it. Let me get to it. Look, I'm going through my reasoning. You're like a woman.
Oh, okay.
Nah,
Who do you think's gonna win
if
in this fake ass fight? Who do you think's gonna win?
in this exhibition fake fight, I think Jake Paul will win. Yes. If it was a real fight, I do think if Mike would catch Jake with a couple of shots, I think Mike would win.
They got headgear on.
If it was a real fight.
No, the fight that's gonna happen with headgear on.
I think. I mean, with all the stipulations, I think Jake's going to win. I do. So,
You know what I think? And we're gonna be able to check this in real time. He thinks Jake Paul's gonna win. I think it's gonna be a draw.
Ooh, that'll however many rounds it is. I mean, and again, we don't. I mean,
I think it'll go the distance.
As of March 25th, we still don't know how many rounds. 3, 5, 7. It's not going to be any
9.
more than that.
It'll probably be 9.
I would say 5 or 9 would be my guess. It'll be split. It'll be split. Is what it'll be.
That's what I think.
They'll try to draw it out.
Like I tell you, I can foresee the future. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, dude, it's going to be a draw. Watch. They're going to sit there and they're going to pitter patter around like it's a sparring match.
Sure.
And then it's going to come to the end and they're going to be both stand there fresh and smiling and everything in front of Netflix for the first time ever.
Right.
And it's going to be draw.
I do.
Which will make everybody clap.
That's true. I do hope Bruce Buffer is the ring announcer.
It probably will be, right?
That
will be.
I mean, so Bruce Buffer is his own brand, even though he works for the UFC and the UFC alone at the moment. I think that would be cool if he would go, hey, you know what? Let me do the announcing.
He probably will be. It'll be either him or his brother.
Yeah.
Michael Buffer.
Michael. Yeah.
It'll be one of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, it usually always is with these fights. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not looking forward to this fight. This is not a fight. This is like me and him putting headgear on and filming us in the garage, dude. That's what this is. You know what I mean? Yeah. I do not foresee a knockout. I don't even foresee anybody getting wobbled, to be quite honest. This is going to be worse than Roy Jones Tyson. That's what this is going to be.
I think if it does go the entire if it does go the entire distance, I think they'll each knock each other down at least once. rounds.
I don't think so.
I do. It's good for theatrics. Oh, I'm out. Oh, 1, 2. Oh, I'm getting up. Oh,
Maybe I mean that might happen. You might be right there,
Yeah.
for theatrics. But that's what this is. This is a screenplay, is what this
Sure.
is. Don't ever come to me with someone wearing headgear and all these stipulations with
Yeah.
12-ounce. What did it say? 12-ounce gloves.
12-ounce gloves.
12-ounce gloves. Headgear on. Don't
Yeah.
come at me like this
Yeah.
is a real fight.
I mean, it would be the true underdog fight. Tyson comes out within the first 20 or 30 seconds. Pow! Jake's down. Jake gets up. He's a champ. He's going to go the entire distance for a draw.
Jake is a big kid. Like when you look at when he boxed Nate Diaz, he's way bigger than Nate Diaz. He's way, but the one fight that you have to look at when you're looking at Jake Paul is you have to look at the Fury. What's that kid's name? No, his little nephew that Paul fought last. Anyways, it's the Fury kid, right? Yeah. Now that kid is a amateur boxer, like a boxer. Mm-hmm. That fight, I think Fury won, or it went to a draw, and he didn't look good. Paul didn't look good because he actually fought and not being a dick or whatever, because God, I can't believe I can't remember his name. It's Tyson Fury's like nephew or cousin or whatever, but that's an actual boxer that, in my opinion, isn't even that good of a boxer. You know what I mean? And Paul had Tommy Fury. Yes. And he had a lot of problems there. It wasn't like fighting a guy that's retired and smaller than you, like with Diaz and with the other UFC fighters that he's fought, the wrestler guy and Tyron Woodley. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's way bigger than them and way younger, you know what I mean? And they're retired. So you have to look at that Tommy Fury fight, which really doesn't say much, because Tommy Fury is, in my opinion, an amateur too, but at least he boxed boxers. Sure. And this guy couldn't do much with him. Sure. So, if you want, in my opinion, I like what the kid's doing, right? Because do you and bring eyes to whatever and try to do whatever, but it's a lose-lose. And if you want to be a boxer, you have to fight boxers that are your age, that have been coming up in boxing. If that's what you want to do that. If I want to be a pro bass fisherman, I don't go fish against my daughter every day. I have to go fish tournaments against pros. You know what I mean? Yep. So if the kid wants to be a boxer, go box boxers. Don't box old, retired, littler people than you. You know what I mean?
I agree.
That's where I go with it.
Yeah. Here's the next clip.
Jake Paul just came face to face with Mike Tyson, and it appears that things are getting more intense from here.
This is insane. On my screen, my eyeballs are the one facing off against Mike Tyson, and I just couldn't believe it. And the fact that it's on Netflix, I think that's gonna really revolutionize the game in boxing. I think streaming could potentially be a very bright future for the sport.
The contentious matchup has sparked a rift among fans and participants in the combat sports sphere, as numerous voices express vehement disapproval toward Tyson and Paul's decision to step into the ring together. Dana White, the outspoken head of the UFC, stands out as one of the most vocal cynics, never shy to express his views, even though he maintains a positive rapport with Tyson. White recently explained on the Pound for Pound podcast.
I hate talking about it because he always gets mad at me when I talk about this stuff, but
he don't give a too. He'll snap on anybody.
To see him do this stuff, but when the fight happens, he'll be 58 years old.
Similar to numerous others, expressing apprehension after the bout was announced, White's primary objection stems from the significant age gap between the competing fighters. He said, "When the fight happens, he'll be 58 years old. It will be a 31-year age difference. Jake Paul did fight a kid his own age, and he lost." White went as far as accusing Paul of lacking genuine passion for the sport, despite the 27-year-old consistently affirming his aspirations to eventually claim the title of world champion in boxing. White continued, "I saw this thing on the internet yesterday, that if he beats Mike Tyson, he'll fight Clint Eastwood next. Clint Eastwood is 93 years old."
Or Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Well, I'm not messing with Chuck Norris. I know you just said Chuck Norris. No.
Let's fight a 100-year-old next.
You're right. Exactly. But yeah, 31-year age difference at the time, because Mike's going to have a birthday. Yeah, I mean, Jake he has 10 fights, 9 wins, 1 loss, 6 knockouts. And so that's, I mean, Mike had 58 fights, 50 wins, 6 losses, 2 no contests, 44 knockouts. So
5-10, 6-1.
Yeah.
And you know what? he just said right there, he's like, oh yeah, he has aspirations to become the whatever champion in real boxing. I'm gonna tell you something right now, that kid will never touch a belt in real boxing. He ain't good enough. He hasn't been doing it enough. He doesn't have enough money to do it. I respect the grind and whatever that he's doing, but he is not a real boxer. And he would probably beat both of us up in a boxing ring. I'm not talking crap, but no, he's not a real boxer. As a boxing fan that's been watching it for my whole life, not a real boxer. He'll never touch a belt. He'll never beat someone in his weight class that's been doing it forever in the grind with pro boxers. You know what I mean? Never ever will that happen. This is a dog and pony show. That's what this is.
Give me over the next. I mean, what do you have? 2 matches a year. I mean, realistically, give me 2 top 10 contenders, and if Jake wins, we'll talk.
He wouldn't win
against both. I mean, let's whoever the number 8, the number 9, the number 10 is, whoever, and just pick 2 of the 3. If he can win both with a good margin, let's talk about it. Let's see if he can get a top 5.
He's 6'1". What did it say he weighed?
15 stones or whatever that was. 14 stones.
100 or 14 stones, 2 pounds. What the frick is this stone stuff?
Oh, it's a European thing. Let me see. A stone weighs 14 pounds. So
14 times 14 plus 2.
Plus 2. So 198
So he's
pounds.
a 200 pounder.
So 200 pounds, yeah. And Mike's a little over 200. 15 times 14 plus 7. So Mike has...
How much does Canelo weigh? Like 155?
I don't know. 154.
Okay. Who fights that is in that 200-pound weight class? It's a pro. But what I guarantee, like, let's take that top 10 that is in the grind, a boxer, right? That's in the 200-pound, 205 weight class, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You could take number 10 on that list. Put him against that kid.
And yeah, and like I said, that's one thing that I would love to see.
Because Tommy Fury ain't top 10.
Right.
Not even close.
So let's say that Jake has 10 more years. Yeah, he's 27. I mean, let's call it until 35. So 8 more years of decent fights. In the next year, let's get a couple of top 10 fights. Let's see. Say, hey, whoever number 8, 9, 10 are, give them $5 million. Let's get this. Give them of your own money, because you know you have the money. Hey, you know what? I want to fight you. Let's have a sanctioned fight, and win, lose, or draw, I'm giving you $5 million to fight me.
Even that clip, dude, when they're asking him when he's sitting down, oh, from my eyes when I'm staring at Mike Tyson, I just can't believe this is happening. Dude, I hope he's not delusional.
Right.
I hope he really doesn't think that I am the man and this is like, oh, this is going to be amazing. No, dude, no, man. You've been fighting old Bush, and I'm not talking crap. I love freaking Nick and Nathan Diaz, right? And all these guys, but you're fighting retired, smaller, way less people than you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I hope he's not delusional, but then again, I mean, I don't really like the kid, so whatever.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it'll be theatrical. You know, they're both going to have a 5-minute walkout from the locker room and the hype and all that stuff. So, you know, Jake's going to come out with literally his entourage, and I assume Tyson will come out.
Maybe that prime robot with him.
Here's the next clip.
It's day 1. The fun just day 2. We're getting ready for you. Day 3. You still want to with me?
No, Mr. Tyson, I do not want to F with you. But, you know, you are... Here's... Okay. I don't really have a lot to say on these. Here's what I will say. It's kind of funky to me because, like, a year ago, Mike Tyson, you can get videos on it. He was in a wheelchair coming out of a airport. Like, that's how, like, decrepit or whatever you want to call it he was, because he's old, man. And he was just in a wheelchair the other day. There's video of him less than a year ago walking with a cane, like limping. And I don't know exactly what happened, but he looks good there.
Yeah.
For an old guy.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, he's still in his upper 50s.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
you,
Like, I'm looking at his forearms. I'm
Sure.
looking at, the joints in his elbows and stuff. You know what I
Sure.
mean? I'm looking at him
Sure.
getting back on center. You know what I mean? And it's a 60-year-old man.
Yep.
That's why I don't like the cocky face on the Paul brother when he's talking about this like it's something, dude. It actually, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I know obviously all the lawyers are going to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted in terms of.
They will have to go through the commission, right?
Well, not for exhibitions.
Yeah, you're right. See,
I could go fight. I mean, a 100-year-old right now if I wanted to, as long as he or she signs on the dotted line that no matter what happens, you're not going to sue me, your family's not going to sue me, and vice versa.
And that's why it has to be free on Netflix, because it's not even a boxing match.
Correct. Yeah. Because no one's going to pay pay-per-view for that. Yeah. Here's the next one.
Joe Rogan and Ric Woo Flair.
That was pretty good. You know what? I give that a solid 7. That was good. I can't do it. I'm not going to try.
Woo! Ric Flair was the man, dude.
He's going to have a recognition. Yeah. He's going to look over and go, oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson.
Joe Rogan just shared his thoughts and predictions on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. And it's not just Joe Rogan who shared his thoughts. Leon Wills was on the Pain Game podcast with True Geordie, and this is what he had to say about Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson.
Hey, I look at it, it's like Jake Paul is a mastermind. He knows how to go viral.
Yep.
He knows how to make things viral.
Yep.
But he wants to make Mike Tyson's death viral.
Yep.
He wants to kill him.
Former MMA fighter Chael Sonnen also believes Jake Paul can defeat Mike Tyson. Take a look at what he had to say.
It's the edge.
Jake will beat him, but yeah, Mike could go with him.
You think Jake's gonna beat Mike Tyson, Chael?
Hey, Jake's the real deal. I mean,
Chael, Mike Tyson. He's 60 years old. Mike Tyson could be 188 years old. No.
A lot of people have been debating about who wins this fight. In this video, we look at these predictions and see whether Mike Tyson has a chance at beating a young Jake Paul. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
No, they basically, Chael's. I'll take Chael's, commentary over all the Joe Rogan and all of them. I'll take him over all of them. He's a really good analyst, like I said. But I'll take him, and he's probably right, dude. Like Jake Paul is a good boxer. He's young. He's got all the money to get the best trainers. He does look good in his fights. But you're fighting. And I don't mean disrespect to, Nate or any of these guys, but you're fighting washed up people. You're fighting littler people. They're shorter than you. You weigh more than them. You have a longer reach.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have, against, the average, 5'5" to 5 foot, even 10, you're going to have a 4 or 5 or 6 inch different reach or further reach. I mean,
and the black guy right there, that is a boxer from like the UK, right? Right in the beginning of that, that's why I'm saying that, in my opinion, this is a lose-lose for both of them. And here's why, is because if Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, the whole boxing community is going to hate him because you took advantage of a senior citizen and one of our greats.
Yep.
If Mike Tyson beats Jake Paul loses to Mike Tyson, you lost to a senior citizen. This is a lose-lose.
I fully agree with that. Absolutely.
But then again, they're going to make millions. So I guess that overrides.
I mean,
but as far as if it was just they weren't making nothing and this is just for a spectacle, it's a lose-lose, man.
Yeah. I mean, and
you either beat up an old guy or you got beat up by an old guy.
Correct.
And matter of fact, if you beat up the old guy, it's actually worse.
It's worse.
You.
Absolutely, yes. No, I mean, no matter how many zeros on your payday, I mean, I truly believe that for Jake Paul, it is a lose-lose. You're going to beat up literally, I mean, arguably one of the easily top 10 heavyweights of all time. Easily. And then again, he's 58. I mean, and yeah, going back to Jake with, fighting shorter people. I mean, if this is as close as I can get to you, I'm there. Exactly.
Right.
I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody. I mean, you better have literally the most iron face of anybody to ever exist.
But then again, they're going to have headgear on.
I know. So who cares about? Yeah.
And we don't even know all the rules yet. It might have a rule that pops up right before it comes out saying you can't hit them in the face. And they want to call this a boxing match.
Oh, instant -1. Hey, whoop, time, hang on. -1.
Go ahead. This
yeah.
is just an exhibition, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. And the scorecard won't even matter for exhibitions.
Just run out there and be like, tap out, you win.
Yeah. Here's the next one.
Parlay that he was knocking you out.
Do you have a parlay in?
Wait, no. What?
The audible. Let me see this.
As you can see, after watching the footage for a few seconds, Paul begins to formulate a response. His girlfriend, Judah Leardam, who was also starring on the podcast, then asked him what if Tyson knocks him out.
Ooh. He sounds nervous.
Just look away.
No, like that will not be good, babe.
No, just look away.
Okay, but he also just trained Francis Ngannou, who just got his head smashed off. So I actually, now that I think about it, I'm about to see if I can get a cash out on this parlay.
And look what happened with Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua, because unlike all the other people that Francis Ngannou has ever seen, Anthony Joshua was a big, ripped, great boxer. And look what happened to Ngannou. But I just talked to my friend the other day, and he was telling me he thinks either Francis Ngannou was sick or they must have like drugged him or something, because he did not look the same as when he fought Fury, right? And he was explaining to me that, of course, the boxing commission doesn't want a UFC fighter going over there and beating these guys that are like born and bred studs, right? But Anthony Joshua, if that was a square fight and it was all good, he made Ngannou look like a little baby girl. That's what happens when you get in there with a real boxer, you know, not someone that you're 30-something years younger than.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the last clip.
Emphasized his own advantages, noting that he is younger, faster, and committed to working extremely hard to become stronger. He said, "He's the greatest heavyweight of all time, the most vicious KO artist ever. But I'm younger, I'm faster, and I'm going to be working my ass off to get stronger." Jake Paul also mentioned that a team member had shown him a video posted by Tyson's coach 2 weeks prior, questioning whether he was certain about proceeding with the fight. Paul affirmed his decision, reiterating his readiness and determination to compete in the heavyweight category. Paul added, "A member of my team sent me this video that Mike's coach put up 2 weeks ago and asked me if I'm sure that I want to do this. Yes, I do. Heavyweight." In addition, Paul also shared his intense training footage.
Train harder. Say what? Nobody cares.
Yeah, Mike Tyson is not the greatest boxer of all time. That's a bunch of hogwash. He had one of the most easiest schedules ever, and I do like the guy. And the second part, like, he might be the most dynamic knockout artist there is, but he is not even, we just looked it up, dude.
Yeah.
On a couple, he's maybe right there on the cut of being the top 10.
Sure.
But like Mike Tyson said out of his own mouth, you can watch the interview with Arsenio Hall.
Yep.
You can watch Mike Tyson say, "All knees will bend, all heads will bow" to Muhammad Ali. So no, he's not the greatest boxer of all time. If you look up on Google Mike Tyson and his stretch of people he won back in his heyday, he's fighting guys like McNeely and Hurricane McNeely and Bruno and stuff. These guys were garbage. You know what I mean? The heavyweight division was in shambles before he came in, and he didn't fight the guys that Buster Douglas fought. He didn't fight the guys that what's his name that we were just looking up. Muhammad Ali fought, George Foreman fought. You know what I mean? He didn't fight those guys, not those names. You know what I mean? So he's not the greatest fighter of all time. Sorry to burst your bubble, but that is weird that people that don't know anything about boxing say that. Being it's the last clip, here's what I'm going to say. The whole point of this fight is because Netflix has been trying, because Netflix owns everything. So Netflix has been trying to get into the sports world for a long time now. This is going to be the first free with subscription televised sporting event. So that is huge. The UFC wants this to happen. Boxing wants this to happen. All MMAs out there want this to happen. Game Bread, all of them. It's a big deal because then Netflix is going to be the next ESPN or whatever. You know what I mean? And that is the whole reason for this fight. This exhibition, you know what I mean? That's the whole reason for this. It has nothing to do with the fighters being good and a vicious fight you can't wait to see. They're gonna have headgear on, but guess what? It's gonna be the first fight ever sanctioned on Netflix, and that's the big deal about this, because as we've been talking about in all these videos, it ain't about any of this dog and pony show. It's all about this right here, the money. That's not the smallest violin playing. That's $100 bills. You know what I mean? But that's what this is. It's all Netflix.
It's the executives and the fighters and their teams just seeing the dollar signs.
What's the date
Yes.
today?
Today is the 25th of March.
Today's the 25th. He said that Paul's going to win and maybe someone gets knocked out, or knocked down like a couple times, maybe one each, like you were saying, right?
Yeah.
For the dramatic effect, right?
Absolutely. First round, Tyson comes out and just pops him,
Right.
and Paul's down 1, 2, 6, 7. He stands up. He's all wobbly.
It's very hard. What I will tell you, it's very hard to knock someone googly like that when you have headgear on and
Sure.
20-ounce gloves or whatever, right?
Sure.
It's very hard. Even the hardest puncher, it's very hard. So I can see someone taking a knee for a body shot, maybe, right? A good like liver shot or
Sure.
whatever. And Tyson's good at that peekaboo, you know what I mean? Maybe he
Yeah.
hits him with it. I predict, and you can check this back, I predict it's going to be a draw. It's going to go all rounds. It's going to be probably much of nothing. And then at the end, they're going to go, this judge said this, and this judge said this, and the last judge said draw, and watch. And everybody's going to be happy with that.
Sure.
That's the only way to win this.
I mean,
you realize that's the only
it's-
way to win this, right?
Correct. I mean, it really is. I mean, for all parties, including Netflix, that's going to be the only way.
And that's what I think. So we'll see what happens, predictions and whatnot. Maybe we'll get some clips of when it happens because it'll be on Netflix and whatnot. So yeah, that's a fight coming up, I guess.
Yeah.
This is going to be more boring than watching Mayweather fight. This is going to be more boring than watching Tyson fight Roy Jones back in the day.
Yeah.
This is going to be dumb.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I might be wrong. I couldn't be a dummy every now and again, but I might be wrong. But it's not going to be a spectacular fight.
I wonder if he'll show up.
He probably will.
That would be awesome.
He's rocking stadiums every time
Well,
he goes
because
in there.
they're going to be in Dallas, Arlington. Arlington is where
Isn't
it's at.
that where JFK was assassinated?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
don't go, Trump.
Let's not hope for that.
Don't go, Trump.
Because we can't do another 4 years.
Stick with the UFC fights, dude. You're rocking the house with them UFC fights. You know what I mean?
Can't do another 4 years of Biden.
Can't do another 4 years of Biden.
Or Harris.
Kamala.
Oh,
Kamala.
Could you imagine? Good grief.
Amen. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll try to get some more stuff to see what happens with this fight. He'll be right, I'll be right, or we'll both be wrong. We'll see. But like, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys all next time.
Take care, guys.